The story opens with massive alien ships appearing at the edge of Earth's solar system. The Vorthan Empire, a ruthless species that has conquered dozens of worlds, arrives with their dark metal vessels blocking all major space routes. Their ships form a perfect sphere around Earth, cutting off all trade and communication with human colonies. Captain Mike Torres stands on the bridge of the Orbital Defense Station Guardian, watching the enemy fleet take position. The aliens had sent one message: surrender or starve. Earth's population of 8 billion people suddenly finds itself trapped like animals in a cage. The Vorthan commander, Warlord Kex, believes humans are weak creatures who will surrender within months. His species has used this tactic before: blockade a planet, wait for panic and hunger to set in, then accept their surrender. It always works, but the Vorthans made one critical mistake. They studied human military strength and technology, but they never studied human history. They never learned about the siege of Leningrad, or the Warsaw Ghetto, or how humans react when cornered with no way out. Admiral Lisa Park, head of Earth Defense Command, calls an emergency meeting. Food supplies will last 6 months. Fuel reserves are better, but limited. The enemy has over 200 ships, while Earth has only 30 combat vessels. A direct fight would be suicide. However, Earth scientists have been working on something special: quantum tunneling technology. That could revolutionize space travel. Dr. James Ross, the project leader, explains that while they cannot break through the blockade with conventional weapons, they might be able to use the Earth's magnetic field and quantum physics in ways the aliens never. Imagine the first week of the blockade sees panic in major cities. Food prices skyrocket. Governments try to maintain order while secretly preparing for the worst. But something interesting happens. Instead of despair, a strange determination begins to grow among the population. Factory workers start volunteering for extra shifts to build defense equipment. Farmers organize to maximize food production. Retired military personnel come out of retirement. The blockade, meant to break human spirit, actually starts to unite humanity in ways not seen since World War II. Meanwhile, on the Vorthan flagship, Warlord Kex receives reports that puzzle him. Instead of surrender signals, human radio broadcasts speak of resistance. Instead of chaos, he sees organized preparation. His advisors assure him this is normal. The humans will break soon enough. The part ends with Dr. Ross making a breakthrough. His team discovers that Earth's unique magnetic field, combined with quantum tunneling technology, could create something the aliens have never encountered: a way to turn Earth itself into a weapon. But the plan is dangerous and has never been tested. One mistake could destroy the planet they're trying to save. As the first month of the blockade ends, Admiral Park makes a decision that will change everything. Instead of waiting for starvation to weaken them, humanity will go on the offensive. But their attack won't come from space. It will come from something far more unexpected. 2 months into the blockade, the Vorthans begin to notice strange energy readings from Earth. Their sensors detect massive construction projects on the planet's surface, but they cannot determine their purpose. Warlord Kex dismisses these activities as desperate attempts to build weapons that cannot reach his ships. On Earth, the largest construction project in human history takes shape. Using quantum tunneling technology, teams of engineers work around the clock to build massive resonance chambers deep underground. These chambers, positioned at specific points around the globe, will amplify Earth's natural magnetic field in ways that could tear holes in space itself. Captain Torres, now commanding a small fleet of modified ships, leads secret missions to gather intelligence on the enemy blockade. His pilots discover something important. The Vorthan ships maintain their positions using gravity anchors, sophisticated devices that lock their vessels in place around Earth. This technology keeps them perfectly positioned, but it also makes them sitting targets for the right kind of attack. Dr. Ross works with quantum physicists from every nation to solve an impossible puzzle. How do you weaponize a planet's magnetic field without destroying the planet itself? The solution comes from an unexpected source, studying how solar storms interact with Earth's magnetosphere. If they can create an artificial solar storm, directed outward instead of inward, they might be able to disrupt the enemy ship's systems. The project, code-named Magnetic Storm, requires perfect timing and coordination. Every resonance chamber must activate simultaneously, creating a quantum cascade effect that will turn Earth's magnetic field into a weapon. But there's a catch. They only get one shot. If it fails, the energy feedback could destroy the chambers and leave Earth defenseless as food shortages begin to bite. Human resolve only grows stronger. Rationing becomes a point of pride rather than hardship. Children plant victory gardens like their great-grandparents did during the world wars. Scientists share research freely across all nations. The blockade, intended to divide and conquer, instead creates the most unified humanity has ever been. Warlord Kex grows frustrated with the lack of surrender signals. His intelligence reports show humans preparing for something, but his analysts cannot determine what. The energy signatures from the planet's surface suggest massive power generation, but for what purpose? His science officers assure him that no ground-based weapon can reach their ships at their current distance. Underground, the resonance chambers near completion. Each chamber is the size of a city block, lined with quantum field generators and connected to the global power grid. When activated, they will create standing waves in Earth's magnetic field, focusing the planet's natural energy into directed pulses that can travel through space itself. Captain Torres leads a dangerous mission to plant monitoring devices near the enemy ships. His team discovers that the Vorthans have become complacent, confident in their blockade. Their ships follow predictable patrol patterns. Their communications are unencrypted. They believe they face a beaten enemy counting down to surrender, but the Vorthans notice increased human activity and begin to suspect something. They start running deeper scans of the planet's surface. Time is running out for the Magnetic Storm project. Admiral Park faces a terrible choice. Launch the attack before it's fully ready, or risk the aliens discovering their plan. The part ends with a moment of decision. Dr. Ross reports that the resonance chambers are at 87% completion. Not perfect, but functional. Admiral Park looks at the data showing 3 months of supplies remaining and makes the call. Tomorrow, at precisely 12 o'clock GMT, humanity will show the Vorthans what happens when you corner the human race as night falls over Earth. Millions of people look up at the stars, many seeing enemy ships as bright dots against the darkness. Tomorrow, those dots will learn why humanity has survived ice ages, supervolcanoes, and world wars. Tomorrow, Earth itself becomes humanity's weapon. The morning of the attack arrives with deceptive calm. Across Earth, technicians make final preparations while the world holds its breath. In command centers buried deep underground, Admiral Park coordinates with teams on every continent. The Magnetic Storm Project represents humanity's greatest gamble, and perhaps their only hope. At exactly 11:45 GMT, the first resonance chambers begin their startup sequence. Deep beneath major cities, quantum field generators hum to life with power drawn from every nuclear reactor, solar farm, and hydroelectric dam on the planet. The energy readings are so massive that Vorthan sensors immediately detect them, but it's too late to determine their purpose. Warlord Kex watches his tactical displays with growing alarm. The energy buildup on Earth's surface exceeds anything in his species database. His science officers scramble to analyze the readings, but they've never encountered anything like quantum-enhanced magnetic field manipulation. Their confusion cost them precious minutes. Dr. Ross monitors the resonance chambers from the primary control station buried beneath the Rocky Mountains. Each chamber must reach perfect synchronization, 1 millisecond off, and the quantum cascade will collapse. The stakes couldn't be higher. Success means freedom. Failure means the destruction of their only weapon and certain surrender dot at 11 hours 59 minutes and 30 seconds. Something unexpected happens. The Vorthons begin emergency maneuvers, trying to break orbit and escape whatever humans are preparing. But their gravity anchors, the same technology that kept them perfectly positioned for the blockade, now work against them. Disengaging the anchors takes time they don't have. 12 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds GMT. Arrives like Thunder. 40-7 resonance chambers fire simultaneously, sending quantum-enhanced magnetic pulses through Earth's magnetosphere. The planet's natural magnetic field becomes a weapon, creating invisible waves that race outward at the speed of light. From space, Earth appears to glow with an otherworldly blue aurora that extends far beyond the atmosphere. The first pulse hits the Vorthon fleet 18 seconds. Later, the effects are immediate and devastating. The quantum-enhanced magnetic waves interact with the aliens. Gravity anchored technology in ways their engineers never anticipated. Instead of simply disabling the ships, the magnetic pulses create resonance cascades in the Vorthons' own systems. Their gravity anchors, meant to hold them in position, become gravity traps. Asterisk. Warlord Kex watches in horror as his ships are pulled into unstable orbital patterns. The gravity anchors cannot be shut off. The magnetic interference has fused their control circuits. Worse, the quantum effects are spreading from ship to ship through their networked systems. His fleet, designed to surround and contain Earth, now finds itself trapped in decaying orbits around the planet. Captain Torres, monitoring the battle from his command ship, cannot believe what he's seeing. Enemy vessels spin helplessly as their own technology works against them. Some ships are pulled into lower orbits, where Earth's atmosphere will eventually drag them down. Others are flung into erratic trajectories that send them careening toward each other. But the most incredible sight comes from the largest enemy ships. Their massive gravity anchors, designed to hold ships weighing millions of tons in perfect position, create localized space distortions when overloaded. 3 Vorthon dreadnoughts simply vanish, their gravity fields collapsing into artificial black holes that consume the ships and wink out of existence. The second magnetic pulse arrives 60 seconds after the first, and the Vorthon fleet's situation becomes hopeless. Ships designed for conquest and intimidation become floating debris. Those few vessels that manage to partially disengage their gravity anchors find themselves with damaged engines and failing life support systems. Admiral Park watches the tactical display with amazement. In less than 5 minutes, humanity has gone from besieged to victorious. The enemy fleet that arrived with such confidence now faces the choice between surrender and destruction. But the Magnetic Storm Project has one more surprise in store. Dr. Ross announces that the resonance chambers can maintain their output for another 3 hours. Every Vorthon ship within 1 million kilometers of Earth is now trapped in an expanding field of quantum-enhanced magnetic interference. Any vessel that enters the field will suffer the same fate as the blockade fleet. Earth hasn't just broken free, it has created an impenetrable defensive barrier. The part ends with Warlord Kex, his flagship spinning helplessly with failing life support, sending humanity its first surrender message. The species that came to blockade Earth now begs for mercy from the creatures they thought were weak prey. The tables haven't just turned, they've been completely reversed. Asterisk. The surrender message from Warlord Kex arrives in 12 human languages, transmitted on emergency frequencies. His flagship, the Dark Conquest, tumbles slowly through space, with its navigation systems fried and life support failing. The proud Vorthon fleet that arrived to subjugate humanity now drifts helplessly, completely at the mercy of the species they came to conquer. Admiral Park faces a decision that will define humanity's future among the stars. The magnetic field barrier continues to expand, trapping more enemy ships as they arrive from distant Vorthan outposts. Intelligence reports suggest that the Vorthan Empire has sent reinforcement fleets, unaware that their advance forces have been defeated. These ships will arrive over the next few days, flying directly into the same trap. Captain Torres leads rescue operations to board disabled enemy vessels. What his teams discover changes everything they thought they knew about their attackers. The Vorthans aren't evil conquerors. They're refugees. Their homeworld was destroyed by an even more dangerous species called the Devourers, cosmic predators that consume entire star systems. The Vorthan Empire expanded through conquest, not from greed, but from desperation to find new homes for their people. Dr. Ross analyzes captured Vorthan technology and makes startling discoveries. Their gravity anchor systems, when properly controlled, could revolutionize human space travel. Their star maps show the locations of hundreds of habitable worlds. Most importantly, their data contains detailed information about the Devourers, a threat that will eventually reach Earth, whether humanity wants to face it or not. In the ship's medical bay of the Dark Conquest, human doctors work to save injured Vorthans. The aliens are surprisingly similar to humans. They breathe oxygen, feel pain, and care for their families. Warlord Kex, recovering from injuries sustained when his ship's gravity systems failed, tells a shocking truth. The Vorthans chose to blockade rather than destroy Earth because they hoped humans might become allies in the war against the Devourers. Revelation splits human leadership. Some argue for keeping the Vorthans trapped and taking their technology. Others, led by Admiral Park, believe that humanity should negotiate with their former enemies. The Devourers represent a threat far greater than anything Earth has faced. Fighting them alone would be impossible. Meanwhile, Vorthan reinforcement fleets continue arriving and falling into the magnetic trap. Each new group of ships adds to the growing collection of disabled vessels around Earth. The human defense system, designed to break a single blockade, has created the largest space graveyard in the galaxy. Thousands of enemy vessels drift powerless, their crews dependent on human mercy for survival. The breakthrough comes when Dr. Ross and captured Vorthan scientists work together to analyze the quantum effects still pulsing through Earth's magnetosphere. They discover that the magnetic storm has done more than trap ships. It has created a stable space-time distortion that could be used for instantaneous communication across the galaxy. Earth has accidentally built the most powerful communications array ever conceived. Using this new capability, Admiral Park makes contact with other species the Vorthans had conquered. The response is overwhelming. Dozens of civilizations, from the aquatic reef builders to the crystalline mind weavers, send messages of gratitude and offers of alliance. They had been fighting the Devourers alone for generations, believing they were the last free species in the galaxy. Warlord Kex, now recovered and acting as a reluctant diplomat, explains the situation. The Devourers move through the galaxy in waves, consuming everything in their path before moving on. They left the Vorthan home system a burned husk. They turned the beautiful garden worlds of the reef builders into lifeless rocks. Now, intelligence suggests they're heading toward this region of space, drawn by the massive energy signature of Earth's magnetic storm. The park reaches its climax when long-range sensors detect the first Devourer scout ships entering the outer solar system. These vessels are unlike anything humans or Vorthans have encountered, living ships that feed on energy and matter, growing larger with each world they consume. The magnetic barrier that trapped the Vorthan fleet now stands as Earth's only defense against an enemy that views planets as food. Admiral Park makes a decision that will echo through history. Standing before the United Nations, with Warlord Kex beside her as an unlikely ally, she announces humanity's choice. Earth will not just free the trapped Vorthan fleet, it will lead a new alliance of species in the fight against the Devourers. The species that was supposed to surrender after a simple blockade has instead become the rallying point for the galaxy's last hope. The hunters have become the hunted, but now they face something far worse than either species imagined. Asterisk. 3 weeks after the Devourer's arrival in the outer solar system, Earth has become the center of the galaxy's greatest military alliance. The quantum communication array, still powered by the resonance chambers that originally created Earth's magnetic weapon, carries messages between hundreds of worlds. Species that had never met before now coordinate their defenses against humanity's shared enemy. The first joint human-Vorthan mission launches from Earth's orbital stations. Captain Torres commands a mixed fleet of human vessels equipped with Vorthan gravity manipulation technology and Vorthan ships powered by human quantum engines. The combination creates capabilities neither species could achieve alone. Ships that can bend space-time while channeling massive energy through quantum field generators. Dr. Ross works with alien scientists in laboratories that would have seemed impossible months ago. Reef builder bioengineers help develop living hull materials that can repair themselves in battle. Mindweaver crystalline computing systems increase processing power by factors of thousands. Vorthan gravity technology combines with human magnetic field manipulation to create weapons that can tear holes in reality itself. The Devourers, meanwhile, continue their methodical approach toward the inner solar system. Their scout ships probe Earth's defenses while their main fleet consumes the outer gas giants, growing stronger with each planet devoured. Long-range scans reveal the terrifying truth. The approaching fleet contains hundreds of living ships, some the size of moons, all hungry for the energy-rich worlds of the inner system. Admiral Park coordinates the defense from a new command center built into Earth's moon. The facility represents the combined technology of a dozen species, its walls lined with quantum computers that process battlefield data faster than any single mind could comprehend. Through the communication array, she can speak instantly with commanders on worlds thousands of light years away, coordinating a defense strategy on a galactic scale. Warlord Kex leads the first successful test of the new alliance's capabilities. His ship, the Redemption, renamed from Dark Conquest at his own request, carries hybrid weapons that combine the best of human and Vorthan technology. When a Devourer scout approaches Jupiter, Kex's vessel demonstrates the power of their new alliance by tearing the living ship apart with focused gravity waves enhanced by quantum field manipulation. But the victory is short-lived. The destruction of their scout triggers a response from the main Devourer fleet. They abandon their methodical advance and accelerate toward Earth, apparently recognizing the planet as the source of the new alliance's coordination. Long-range sensors detect massive energy signatures as the enemy fleet prepares for an assault unlike anything the galaxy has ever witnessed. Defense of Earth begins with a surprise. Instead of waiting for the enemy to arrive, the Alliance strikes first. Using quantum tunneling technology perfected through cooperation between human physicists and Mindweaver crystalline engineers, strike teams appear directly inside the Devourer fleet. The attacks cause massive confusion among the living ships, which had never encountered enemies capable of bypassing their defenses entirely. Captain Torres leads one of these strike teams, his ship materializing inside the hull of a Devourer vessel the size of a small moon. What they discover inside changes everything. The Devourers aren't just predators. They're the consumed remnants of thousands of species, their consciousness absorbed and twisted into a collective hunger that can never be satisfied. Among the absorbed minds, the strike teams find fragments of civilizations destroyed millennia ago, all crying out for release. This discovery leads to the final breakthrough. Dr. Ross realizes that the quantum communication array can do more than enable instantaneous messaging. It can sever the psychic bonds holding the Devourer collective together. By broadcasting specific quantum frequencies, They can free the absorbed minds and cause the living ships to collapse. The climactic battle takes place in Earth's orbit as the main Devourer fleet arrives. Ships from dozens of species, using hybrid technology that combines the best of all Alliance members, engage in combat that lights up the solar system. But the real victory comes when Earth's resonance chambers, now modified with alien technology, broadcast the liberation frequency across the battlefield. One by one, the Devourer ships begin to dissolve as the minds within them are freed. The terrible collective hunger that drove them across the galaxy finally ends as thousands of absorbed species find peace in release. The living ships, no longer held together by psychic bonds, become clouds of harmless organic matter that drift away into space. The story ends with Earth's transformation from a blockaded world to the capital of a galactic alliance. Humanity's stubborn refusal to surrender when cornered has not only saved their own world but liberated an entire galaxy from its greatest threat. The species that was meant to submit to a simple blockade has instead become the foundation of a new age of cooperation and exploration among the stars. Tables weren't just turned, they were completely rebuilt. Asterisk.